Well, welcome back to Liberty Librarian. There I am. Hello. It's Heather Biedermann for Liberty Librarian again. And I'm going to share this to my Liberty Librarian page so you know what's happening. So give me just a second. It's been like a little while. I had vacation and things were kind of crazy and up in the air. But how are you doing? Um, let's see. We're going to do Freedom Revolution Network, which is the home of Liberty Librarian. And we're going to move this link over to there and then we'll be good. Where is my link? Should be showing up soon. I think this is the one. So it takes a little while for me when you get away from stuff that you use all the time and then you go back to it. It's not quite like riding a bicycle. But you know, I'm always so excited to be back here with you guys. I love it. Let's see, where am I? I'm looking for the live one. Here it is, videos live. So I can share it with the people that might want to watch it too on my channel, my own channel. Here I am. Is this the one? Here I am. So I'm wearing my ELO shirt. And I'm always so excited to be back here with you guys. There I am. I'll stop pushing that. The ELO shirt I got from going to see ELO here. I think it was in Detroit. And they hadn't been on tour in the United States for over 30 years. And at the show, a guy spilled a beer on myself and a little bit on my husband. And he said, oh, friends were like, you dumb drunkie. How did you do that? Why did you do that? And he's like, I'll make it up to you. Would you like a shirt? And I'm like, yes. Because when I walked in, I saw that most of the shirts were about $40 or $50. And I'm like, I could stop being angry for $40 or $50. So I thought, that's freaking cool. Yay, thanks, man. So I love ELO. It's one of my favorite all-time bands. And I don't know if you've heard of Electric Light Orchestra, but it is such a great group. Jeff Lynne is the lead singer, and he's still around and he still rocks. Oh, I gotta share it to page. Oh man. I feel like it's been so long since I did this. It's like not second nature. Marian is live. Yes, I'll copy that. Yay. I'm so excited to be back. So last week we were in Florida before the apocalypse hit, as you may know, across the country, unless you were Jared Leto, who was out on a 12-day walk in the desert and meditation, and he comes back and it's all crazy pants. That, I mean, you know like how crazy it is, but think about if you were like totally isolated, or if you're in a coma and you're like, oh good, now I woke up and now I can go see my friends and go out to restaurants and do all this, and you're like, guess what? No. So not so good. But we this week, today is my first day teleworking, and I am happy to say it went really well. I had a lot of fun working on stuff and trying to navigate how to deal with my cats being constantly glomming on me, like while I've been like here. Last week we were on vacation for spring break, and we were lucky enough that we got to do fun stuff and visit with people, and we got to do everything before it got really blown up. And like when I was there, I had a feeling that things were about to get bad, but I had no idea until I think the day before that it started, like we had heard about some of the, like I think San Francisco had shut down. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad we're going home on Saturday. But we got home and washed clothes and everything, hung out in the house on Sunday, and then went back to work on Monday. And it became apparent that people were leaving work. A lot of people were working from home already. people were, their businesses were shutting down and sending them home. And I work for the state of Minnesota, so I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm having a beer now. Um, we were determined to get everything set up because it was announced that at our school that the rest of the semester is going to be all online. It's unheard of, unprecedented. A lot of our programs are very hands-on, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. They canceled our graduation for the whole state. Everybody's graduation is canceled. It's heartbreaking for a lot of the kids because they get so excited about that. But I have a lot of friends and family who are in the category of people who should not go out, should not be exposed to the virus at all. So, part of me, I like to be social. I like to go out to restaurants. I like to go to bars, breweries, and try new things. We go to concerts all the time. And this is the end of the year is the time when there's so many library conferences that I go to, and I really enjoy going. Great professional development, and I can see a lot of my library friends from all over the state at these events. And now we're not having anything. Everything's either canceled, or I think there's one virtual event, which I'm happy at least we have that. But there, the constant reminder that things are getting less. Restaurants just closed on Tuesday. And it's like bad impulse probably, but my husband and I and one of our friends were like, let's go to a bar, even like the most unpopulated bar we can find. And no one was there anyway. I mean, really, like there was only like a couple tables of people, and they're so spread out that it didn't matter. There was only like two people who were working there. It was one bartender who was also waiting tables, and I think one line cook. So it's not going to be pretty for all the restaurants that are going to be losing business. A lot of them are going to try to do carry out. Some are doing delivery, and some you can just order there and pick it up to go. But there's no eat-in restaurants anymore. There's no movie theaters. There's no, what else is there? There's no mall. You can't really do anything in the big place. We had our like at work, we had our president addresses us, I think a couple times, once a month at least. And she did it through Zoom, which is what I use for my show. And it works really good, but there's such a weird thing going on where people are walking and you see each other and you're nervous and you want to give each other space. And yet I'm so hungry for human attention that sometimes you're like, oh, a human, yay. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, keep back. You never know. I could be a carrier. You could be a carrier. You don't want to do anything bad. And I haven't really bought into the whole buying everything. I mean, we bought some supplies, but so far it seems like, we got enough stuff to drink for a long time, but food, we're okay. I have a lot of frozen stuff anyway, but it's not any more than what I normally do. And then I have allergies. I get like so sensitive to mold and dust. And this is the time of year I get them because we're all like cooped up in the house. And I start sniffling, and people look at me and they'll look like judging. Are you coronavirus? And I'm like, I'm not, it's just, so, and then you start second guessing yourself. Maybe I am, but you can't really live like in total fear. You pay attention, you listen to yourself, and then you go, okay, if anything changes, then you go to the doc, obviously. Right. But like even most of my doctor's appointments, my normal checkups have been canceled. Everything's postponed, but we do our best as humans to just keep going on. And I'm a big believer that the show must go on, in that the things that make us happy, we have to try to focus on those. So there's a very distinct possibility that many states are going to go to shelter in place, which will make it even harder for people. And I'm kind of an introvert. I have lots of friends who are extroverts, so it brings it out of me. But the introvert in me is like, oh, I have so many things I can do at home. I have fun like class stuff that I can look at and learn. So much reading and ebooks and audiobooks. I mean, I could really stay in for a couple months and I'd be sort of excited. I have Netflix, I have all the shows. So, I mean, it's super exciting to me to be able to have all this fun stuff right at your hands. But, you know, what do you do? I mean, how do you make all of this work? So, um, I was thinking about for the show tonight, what I wanted to talk about was what do you do at home? Let's say you maybe have your kids with you. Yeah, I see. I There's a new world order to things, and I just got like so many messaging right now. So I was looking at that. I do the Sweet Subversive shows on Wednesday, and um, I've been kind of beat up in my brain because we're trying to get everything ready for going to fully online, virtual online for at least a few weeks, um, and before we can come back. So I'm working from home for a little while, and getting our yearly budget up, things that I need to be on campus to get done, and it really kind of wore me out. I mean, back from vacation, you're already a little energized, but man, it's so much energy. And seriously, I love getting to do my job. I was thinking about that today, is like being a librarian is probably one of the best jobs you can have. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And I'm gonna miss the people part, like seeing people. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna ask them. Do any of you guys want to come on? Yeah, I think like some of my friends, what we like to do, and also if you saw Sweet Subversives, I lost my train of thought. Seriously, it's fun to get to be able to visit online. I use Zoom to be able to talk to people, and um, it's just like way fun. I see Andy's coming home. Hi, and I think that you have to keep connections with people. You need to be able to constantly reach out, because if not, you get lonely. Cool, thanks. And it's a lot of people can get lonely, and I think that it's good to keep your mind active, to find things like meditation, eating healthy, exercise. I mean, this morning I made sure I got up.
Netflix.
And Netflix, my husband's like, Netflix, but maybe other things besides Netflix if you are.
I mean, working at home.
Not working out. No, I didn't do it Netflix. I worked at home. I actually got a lot of stuff done today. So anyway, I know. He is working in office, so it's weird when you have that. But I know a lot of families who are like they have their kids at home, they're home, and people get like in each other's way. It can get a little stressful just being around people that you don't normally see every day. It may seem good for the first few days, but think about ways that even if you're in a small space, that you can give each other like a little bubble of that. Yeah. So it's cool. One of the challenges of working at home and maybe being shelter in place is that you need to keep your own spirits up. I think of it like some of the stories that I've read of like World War I and World War II, where people were stuck for a while, or there's bombing and stuff. And so you entertain yourself. People would play music, they would tell stories. But this is a time of illness, and we get to be afraid of each other and afraid of exposing ourselves. But we have this great resource, which is technology. So you can be alone, and yet you don't have to be alone. So every day we find our ways of keeping things going on, and it's cool. I mean, it's really cool. It's first to happen now. We are quite lucky that we can work, we can keep things going. You can buy stuff, and I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's kind of amazing. So I hope that you are keeping sane already, but I know it's we're in for the long haul, it seems. Um, I'm looking. One of the things I shared this week on my own Facebook page was a quote from the Betsy Tacy Society. And Betsy Tacy is a children's series, and it was written by um, an author, I can talk, Maud Hart Lovelace, who is from this Mankato area. And let's see if I can look up some more. Betsy Tacy, very beloved book series. And I have a quote from a part of the books that kind of seemed really appropriate. Let's see if I can click on something, some illustration. How about this one? So you can see what a Betsy Tacy book looks like. It's very cute. Here, let's go into it, and I will share that little thing. Share screen. There. Okay. This is a cover of Betsy Tacy by Maud Hart Lovelace, and it's a kid's book. It's really cute art, and she talks a lot about just the life that was there. And there's a lot of stories in the book that, while it's for children, it talks about other cultures living in the area. It talks about illness. It talks about real life things that happen to everyone, but from the perspective of little kids. So what I wanted to say is, let's see, go back to my post. And in the Betsy Tacy Society post, oops, I probably should have just clicked on that. There, you are so much trouble. I am so much trouble. Let's see if I can get up there. Oh, come on, internet. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. I'm gonna click on that date, and that should get us there. Okay. What's Melissa to say? Dollar bomb don't. Oh, okay. Thanks, Melissa. Melissa says if you go on the Freedom Revolution Network page, freedomrevolutionnetwork.com website, I'll post a link in the chat box on our Facebook page. There's a coronavirus dollar bomb, and this helps Freedom Revolution Network stay alive and help those in need during the pandemic to bring you the news and happenings. So I'll post a link right now. I'm clicked on it, and I've got to wait a second because my internet's a little slow. But what does it say? It says, with everything going on with the coronavirus COVID-19, we are trying to bring you information as it is breaking and keep everyone up to date on what our status as a world currently is with this pandemic. We need to make sure to keep the lights on here at Freedom Revolution Network. We also want to build up some funds dedicated to helping those in need during this pandemic. We understand everyone is worried about what is going to happen next. If everyone who can would at least donate $1, then we would ensure that we're able to pay our production bills to keep us live. We want to be live and help folks in need during the next few months as we deal with the virus getting under control. Thank you in advance for your patronage and your help. And if you would like to donate a larger amount, Cool. Please, there's a click here button on this page. So if you donate $50 or more, you get a free t-shirt. So with your donations, in addition to keeping our lights and our cameras rolling and helping those in need, we are able to expand our own show lineups to include shows like a daily check-in show where we have you, the listeners, call in and give us a quick update about how things are going in your area, a daily show where once things are locked down, you, our listeners, can call in just to chat and have some outside voice connection to others. There's lots of ideas for new shows, and they'll be of great importance in this pandemic, continuing to change and shape our new reality. So I got the link. I'm going to post it on my feed. I'll post it both on my here and also on the Liberty Librarian page. Let's see if I can find it. Where did it go? Where did you go? Oh, I have the Betsy Tacy. I gotta get back to that. I get so distracted lately. I think there's a lot going on everywhere, and it makes it kind of hard for everyone. Okay, freedom. We want to be free. We want to be freedom. So, if you would like to donate, I'm posting the link right now. And it will be very helpful if we can help get the funds out and also keep our shows going so there's a little more connection for people. Okay, where am I? I always have a hard time. It always seems to not want to go to my page. It like links way down. There we go. Oh man, that's a different one. Where is it putting me? Just like as the latest? Where am I? What's live now? Where am I? What the heck? Oh, there I am. All the way at the bottom. Don't ask me how this is working. I am going to post it in the comments. Here we go. Comment. And I'm going to post that Maud Hart Loveless quote that I'm about to read to you. And then I can do the same for my Liberty Librarian group. And then we will be golden. Thank you for your patience. Sometimes I feel like just getting everything going. I need like an intern. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this quote, and I love it a lot. So I'm going to share the page. Let's see. It's on the Betsy Tacy Society. It's a group on Facebook, and they are pretty dang cool. There's tours and things here in Mankato. It's a huge group of people that come from all over the world that come there just about every year. Probably not this year, but let's see. Okay, here we go. So quarantined meant that they had to stay at home in order not to give anybody diphtheria. While Tacy was so sick, they had to play quiet games, but now they could make all the noise they liked. Tacy got so well that she could come to the window. She would hold up that doll George had given to her at the street fair and make it wave its hands. Betsy and Tib had sent her gifts on the end of a fishing pole, and they would tie the gift on the end of the pole and poke the pole over into Tacy's yard, and Katie would untie it and take it to Tacy. They sent notes and stories and pieces of cake and bouquets of flowers and a turtle. From Betsy, Tacy, and Tib by Maud Hart Loveless. So send some virtual turtles to those people that you love. You know, something, notes, stories. How do you hold up in these very strange times? And I really like that. I think that was a really cool, very cool story back then, and it applies to now. So I think this is how we all keep saying, is we help each other out. Find ways of, especially people who can't get out, maybe bring them groceries, send them gifts, send them things that you're thinking of. One of my former coworkers was writing about, she has a class where one of her assignments for her students is to write a journal, because we're in history, right? This is history, and everybody's going to have a story. And there's nothing better than to write down what's happening to you now. And so you can remember it clearly, and little details in the moment that people are going to be really interested in later on because this is historic and there's nothing like it. Nothing happened quite like it ever. And your own personal story is very important. So think about journaling. Think about if you do a show or a podcast, share what's happened. Talk about details because that is history in the making. So I thought that was a really great idea, and it makes me want to write down what's happening too. Mostly, I've been doing these shows, so I talk a little bit about on each show. But it would be really nice to just sit down and write and talk about feelings, which is the hardest part of this, is the fear, the apprehension, the anxiety. All of it is very complicated for people. And I think that it's kind of amazing that we can all reach out and share so easily, yet things like that we're a little afraid to. So let's see. There we go. I am going to look at I'm going to close that. Okay. So Betsy Tacy, definitely something to check out. What was I going to look at? Yeah, I'm in images. I'm going to just talk real quickly about Maud Hart Lovelace, since most of you probably have never heard of the Betsy Tacy books. Maud Hart Lovelace was alive from 1892 to 1980. And she published most of these books between 1940 and 1955. They were originally by Thomas Y. Crowell Company, and now they're by HarperCollins. So they're still alive today. The first 4 books were illustrated by Lois Lenski, and the remainder by Vera Neville. And these are the adventures of the heroine Betsy Ray, who is closely based on the author and her friends and family. The first book, Betsy Tacy, begins in 1897 on the eve of Betsy's 5th birthday. And then the last book, Betsy's Wedding, and as the U.S. prepares to enter the First World War. So there's a lot of history in her books too. And they take place in this area. They're on a fictional town called Deep Valley, Minnesota. And it's based on her childhood home of Mankato, Minnesota, where I live. And she wrote the Deep Valley books, Carney's House Party and Emily of Deep Valley, in which Betsy Ray and other characters of the Betsy Tacy series. Books in the series, Betsy in the World and Betsy's Wedding, which is 1955, the last, follow Betsy through a European sojourn and her first years of married life in Minneapolis. They're also closely based on Lovelace's personal experiences. So there's a lot of comparison with like the Little House on the Prairie books, which are written progressively more difficult reading level as they age, which also a little bit like Harry Potter, which starts out very simple, but then gets more and more complicated as the age of the characters grow, which is a smart move because a lot of times the readers age too, and so they love that. I'm going to show you a little quick picture of, if you've ever heard of Carnegie Libraries, this is the one in Mankato, and this is the one in one of the books, Betsy visits Deep Valley, the Carnegie Library for the first time, and Betsy and Tacy go downtown. So I'm going to just show you a quick one of that. Yeah, I sometimes I get in my own tangents, so it's kind of hard to know what I'm actually going to do in each show, but this is what it looks like. And today it's been used for different things. It's been an art center. It's has some offices in it. It's a beautiful building. All the Carnegie buildings are quite lovely, and but it is not used as the actual Blue Earth County Library, which is a lot bigger building, but not very far away from there. But that is her library that she was from. So as a librarian, I get super excited about that. And library stuff. But so I wanted to just mention that today because I think that we come full circle with a lot of stories in our lives. And just because something may be historically from a time long ago doesn't mean as humans we aren't experiencing these things over and over again. Okay. So I had only a couple little bit of news things I wanted to talk about. I got all over the place, right? So hope you forgive me. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is my friend Tasha had posted that a good intellectual freedom news article that was in in the NBC News website this week, that the U.S. wants to smartphone location data to fight coronavirus. I'm going to do my sharing quick. Share. There we go. This is the article. So federal health officials say they could use anonymous aggregated user data collected by the tech companies to map the spread of the virus. That's a big no-no, if you ask me. The White House and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are asking Facebook, Google, and other tech giants to give them greater access to American smartphone location data in order to help them combat the spread of the coronavirus, according to 4 people at companies involved in the discussions who are not authorized to speak about them publicly, but they're sharing it because it is concerning. So the federal health officials say they could use anonymous aggregated user data collected by the tech companies to map out the spread of the virus, a practice known as syndromic surveillance, and prevent further infections. They could also use the data to see whether people were practicing social distancing. Okay, just from reading that right there, that should raise some alarm bells for all of you. If they aren't practicing social distancing, are they going to use it to enforce it? Are you going to be arrested? Are you going, what is the outcome that they're going to use it? How far is this, if they're following your social media and GPS tracking, how far will it go? What is the long-term plan? Will this be turned on now? Will it be turned on forever because they think, well, the virus still might be out there, or there may be other viruses? And then what's to stop other branches of government from using that kind of connection data for other tracking? So they say it will be anonymized and that the government would not have access to specific individuals' locations. Right? I don't know. I don't believe that, but they noted that users would be required to opt in to the effort. Would be required to opt in? You're required. There's no opt then. Opt is option. So to continue to use Facebook, you would have to be required to let them use it for surveillance. I don't think that's quite right. So I'm hoping that the social media companies realize that this is a breach of our privacy. But the federal effort, first reported by the Washington Post, will force the tech giants to weigh their commitments to user privacy against their desire to help combat a disease that has cost thousands of human lives and upended a global economy. So they're using our fear to tap into our privacy. This is not anything that's new, folks. They are opportunists, and this is a very serious thing. They said officials are very serious about making this happen. A person at one of the tech companies said, fine, even if they did use it, what would be the plan to turn it off? Never. Once you give up these freedoms, it's gone for good. I will invoke 9/11, having constant at the airport being like you're felt up and scanned for because there could be terrorists. Before that, we hardly had anything ever happen either, and there are other ways of checking. So I would urge the tech companies to not go along with this. Not that they will listen, but I do think that Facebook already provides health researchers and non-governmental organizations in some countries with anonymized data to help disease prevention efforts. I don't think they need to do more than that. But other sources warn that providing the government with greater access to anonymized location data now could lead to the erosion of individual privacy down the line. Absolutely. It absolutely could. So I think that we need to be very cautious about allowing this. We're all scared. We're all terrified. And they're going to use this fear to get their way because the data is power and they can control us with the data. Don't let them have the data. So they had representatives from Facebook, Google, Twitter, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, IBM, and Cisco all took part in the call with the White House, all the biggies. So every single kind of device, every kind of social media, every kind of internet connection, the biggies are all a part of this. So they have declined to comment on the discussions, but the discussions are going on. So you should be aware that we are in a time where these things can be abused. And I really hope that we put our foot down and say, no, please no. There are other ways of tracking the disease. They are already doing a good job of that. They need to listen to medical professionals and not be using the government in this way to bully big businesses into giving up their proprietary data and going against the user's wishes. Everyone. So it would be a giant big brother situation. So I think that was my biggest news of the week. And I think it's the one that's most terrifying to me. So I am a little bit sad that the other one I wanted to talk about was that the House passed a bill preserving the FBI surveillance powers. So they are making sure they lock in the ability to keep an eye on us. We are in the surveillance age, and there's student privacy laws still apply if coronavirus has just closed your school. There's dressing for the surveillance age. I don't know if my New Yorker one will work because I've had it. As cities become more packed with cameras that always see, public anonymity could disappear. So they talk about stealth clothing that, those like the glasses that make it so you can disappear. There's so many things like people wearing respirator masks all the time, things like goggles. And I've seen it so different patterns. So facial recognition software doesn't work. That's a new industry. So there's a few really good articles on the American Library Association intellectual freedom site. So I just wanted to mention that to y'all. I feel like I've been kind of swamped with the coronavirus information inundating us. So I've been trying to watch more happy news, which there isn't a lot, but I mean, seriously. The good thing is that there are a lot of people that are trying, and businesses stepping in to try to help out because there are a lot of people who lost jobs. There are a lot of students that are going fully online for the first time ever. A lot of faculty and businesses are going fully online. What's nice is that pretty much all the biggie phone companies, cell phone companies are eliminating data caps. Nice libertarian news is some of the rules that have made it difficult for people to get credentials, especially medical credentials right now have been waived. So that way people can get into hospitals faster and help, which makes me think if a rule is that easy to get rid of, why not just get rid of it? Yes, I totally believe that. So we are in a time where it's easy to be libertarian when we're in an emergency, but why not be a libertarian all the time? Think about freedoms, think about getting rid of stupid rules that make no sense, that hold things, progress back, hold back free thinking, hold back making better life for everyone. I mean, just work at that. Looking at the rest of the news, fake news. One of the big things this week for fake news was Facebook changed some of the fake news. They've been really ramping it up, trying to stop fake news. And one of the things that makes me mad is a lot of the communities that I associate with are alternative health and more natural options. And a lot of those groups will share information. And because there's not a study on some of these things, they're branded as fake news. So they're taking to websites and trying to share in different ways. But the things have gotten with Facebook, because they have bots doing it. They don't really have humans going out there. It matches, and a lot of the coronavirus news, like legitimate news sources, like sources that are big press, are getting marked as fake news because the robots can't figure it out. They see so many, and um, they're tagging only certain places. So uh, it is not a perfect system, and I wish it would just take it down. Um, I really would rather not somebody tell me something's fake. I would rather figure it out myself. I've even had it. Have a problem where I saw something that looked legitimate, looked like a news source, and I didn't click it through because it looked like all the information was on that. And if you had clicked through, you would have saw it was a joke. And so, be careful about that. I had that where I was sharing the news in Florida, and I'm like, oh no, it's not real. It's not real. And people had overheard me just standing nearby, and I realized, I'm a big mouth talker, and I have to be careful too. I have to double check sources. So I always, if something seems really weird to me, I always double check it like immediately. I'm sometimes excited because it's news you want to hear. And that's the worst. It's like, oh, I believe this to be true, but you should always double check your sources. So there's so much news going on, safety, and thinking about people being able to be healthy out in the world. We all get worried about, if you get a cold, if you have allergies, like, wait, is this coronavirus now? Remember, the one thing I will say, it's cold and flu season as well. So there is still flu going around. There's still other illnesses. So just because somebody sneezes doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is. You need to be careful. You need to wash your hands. I wear gloves when I was going to work this week. I would wear gloves every day. I didn't go so far as wearing a mask because I know that unless you are the one who's sick, it really doesn't do a lot of good, and it looks weird. I mean, like, even the gloves look weird. I had so many people comment on it, and I was just like, I just went to Florida. I really want to protect other people more than thinking about myself. I'm not really a germaphobe, but I think this whole situation makes everybody a little bit of a germaphobe. So it makes sense. But we all need to be thoughtful in this. So don't get super crazy. Let me see. I wanted to think if there's anything else that I really want to mention from the ALA site. There's controversy about Woody Allen's memoir because people consider him a pedophile because he got married to his ex-wife Mia Farrow's adopted daughter, who was a little bit underage, I think, when they first started getting together. And they have been married a while now, so it's to the point where you're like, well, do you forgive him or do you never forgive him? I know a lot of people who will never forgive him. So the controversy about his memoir is going on because it's, I think, going to get published in France. So that was interesting to me too. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more, I'm all over the place, so you know me. But I wanted to mention that there are things that you can do at home. What can you do? You're stuck at home. Are you going to just disintegrate into your furniture and not be a person? No. Even if you have internet at home, you have the world at your fingertips. You don't just have to do Netflix. I mean, I love Netflix. There's so many good shows. It's so great, but you don't have to. What you can do, though, is you could take online classes. You can, one of my friends is doing online yoga. I'm going to show that real quick. There's one I brought up called Yoga with Adrienne. And I'm going to show that real quick. There it is. Okay. Yoga with Adrienne. Is just great. Yoga is wonderful. It's good for flexibility, and you can actually get some good upper bodies. You can get body strength because you hold positions. You can get a nice tight core. They've had people who've had surgery who've done great recovery by doing yoga. So the one that was recommended was Yoga with Adriene. And I've had so many people recommend this. I'm just going to show a little clip of one of hers. She's doing meditation for anxiety. And during this time where, everyone's stressed out about illness and there's a lot going on, it's kind of cool. Oh, she's got, there we go. I'm going to make it big. Turn the sound.
And welcome to Yoga with Adriene. I'm Adriene, and today we have a meditation for you to help you with anxiety. Happens to the best of us. It can get out of control fast. So thank you for joining me in this meditation to help quell and soften and maybe even cure you from regular anxiety attacks. Let's get started.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit so you can see a little bit more in the action. Because, a meditation yoga is just sitting there mostly. But
start to notice your breath.
You're breathing, and it's 15 minutes, like under 15 minutes. So she's a really neat lady. So you could just do this. Even if you can't do anything physical, you could do meditation. One of the other ones I liked was she has different kinds of yoga by length. So if you have like a really short amount of time, they have under 10-minute yoga practices. So I thought this was kind of cool. And it's like kind of beautiful production. And she's a gorgeous lady. So, even if you're just like, oh, you can watch, 5-minute morning yoga. Everybody's got 5 minutes. You can start doing yoga. It's very good for you. You'll help your flexibility. Another one I thought was cool. Go back. She's still doing it. Stop, Adriene. They had 20 to 30-minute ones, which is usually more my time period in the morning. The yoga for beginners is really good. There's a 40-minute workout I think is excellent. Where to start, she explains things. So you learn about yoga too. And if you have areas where you need extra, like upper back or lower back, shoulders, neck, you can really focus on it, especially if you have pain in there. I like this one, the yoga for weight loss, total body workout. This is a tough one. And she's such a nice lady, very pleasant. I'm going to skip forward a little. And it doesn't look like it would be that hard, but for me, things like there's positions where you're holding your body weight up, and you do these core ones where you're like sticking your leg up.
Here to rock a little side to side.
So good for your back. And it's bad. And if you're looking for a way to get a little exercise into your day, yoga is great. I would say if you had at least 2 things you could do that would help your general health all around, doing yoga and walking daily would be your best bet. As long as they don't make us stay inside all the time, go for a daily walk. Even if you can't go very far, get out and get some fresh air. Fresh air is really good for you. It's what we all need. Get out and see a little nature. Look at plants. Look at the sky. Touch the earth. It's very healing. And a lot of us forget that. We get so focused on locking ourselves inside, being afraid of the outside world. Even people who are a little bit more susceptible could at least just maybe open a window for a little while, get some fresh air in. It's still, they don't know so much about how the virus is exchanged, but from what I know, they're pretty sure that it is not super airborne as long as you are not in close proximity to other humans that may be contaminated with it. And keep things clean. Wash your hands, clean surfaces that are touched regularly. You should be pretty good in your own home, but or your yard, or if you have a balcony, just be thoughtful about it. Try to go outside a little. It's good for you. And if you don't do that, there's tons on YouTube. There are tons and tons of workouts. You just go into YouTube and type workout, and there are so many free ones. The one I did, oh, I should find that one. I like doing the Jillian Michaels 30-day ripped in 30, ripped in, but they don't actually have it online, and I like it. So they have one that's a lady who does a Spanish version. I really liked it. I thought it was great. It worked out really good. I lost my whole thing. There it is. And she just goes through the motions of it. And a lot of times, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really like Jillian Michaels that much. I don't like her complaining at me. But when I was on vacation, I had my laptop with, and I would do some of these shows. I'm going to show a little clip. She is the Try It You Can. Try It You Can on YouTube. I'm just going to show a little clip of that too. It's actually kind of cool because she goes through it so you can get the timing down right. And she's like a nice, normal looking person. So I feel like that's kind of cool. But there's thousands and thousands of videos just like this. And she has her weird music, and I muted it. And it's the same thing as the Jillian Michaels, but you don't have like the super pro people who like are like fitness models or whatnot. You have like a normal, nice Hispanic lady, and it's kind of cool. And I even was like, thank you. I got to use it on a trip. It was great. And I loved that. So that's one of the things I've been doing is trying to do more online workout videos. I know a lot of people are afraid to go to the gym now, and so they aren't working out even at all. But you can do almost any workout at home, even if you have just a little bit of space. I like the workout videos because they usually, you don't need more than just a little bit of space in front of a TV, or I put my laptop out on a table and I work out in front of it. It's nice sometimes to have a rug or mats or something that you can like, so you don't like put your knees on the hard floor or anything. And I adjust exercises because I have like kind of weird knees, and I'm not 20. So there's some stuff I can do better than others. And, like some of the push-ups, I'll do girly push-ups, but don't hurt yourself. The nice thing about having a real life person to show you a workout is that they can tell you to stop being an idiot and like change what you're doing. But listen to your own body, and usually you can take care of that. Equipment that you can have, like I have some dumbbells at home. I have a yoga mat that's foldable so you can put it away. I have like bands, exercise bands. We just got an exercise bike, so we are trying that out, and it works pretty good. We have I'm like, it's, you don't need a lot though. I mean, really, I know people who have every kind of machine. They must have a ton of space in their house. I know a lot of people with tiny apartments, and if you have an exercise video, you can do sit-ups and push-ups and body weight exercises, and that's all you really need. Walking, tennis shoes are the best thing that you can have. Walking is the best exercise. You can run, you can hurt your knees. Walking is the best. Do it every day and you will be happy. Got a Fitbit, which kind of goes against a lot of the tracking things I say, but I do like the idea of keeping up with your steps. So do that. Another thing I wanted to share with you are there online classes. I mean, I heard some YMCAs are doing online classes too, so look for those. So many places are trying to be accessible. There are, you can take quizzes online, you can do virtual travel, there's documentaries you can watch. The one I wanted to show you was there's some places where you can get free classes if you want to learn about stuff. One is Coursera. I'll show you what that looks like just a second. Share screen. Maybe it'll come up. There we go. Coursera has lots of classes, and they work with Google and Duke and Stanford. There's a lot of programs that you can get really neat classes through there. You can explore. Let's see. If I wanted to learn more about what would be interesting. Let's look at personal development classes. We'll give it a second. You can do a class from Yale about the science of well-being. You can learn how negotiations, strategies, and skills. There's so many things that you can learn about, and it'll make you a better person. And it's for free. A lot of these classes, you could take them for credit at these institutions, and that would cost you a lot of money. But this, you get the same knowledge. And you can choose to buy books. You can choose to check them out from libraries. But I think a lot of them have free resources, sometimes written by the experts in the field. So you can look at the syllabus, you can enroll for free. It tells you the date it starts. It's kind of cool. You can pretty much follow through. They have videos. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. So think about that. Coursera is a great one. Coursera, sorry. And there's other options like edX. I like that one. That has some courses, a lot of programs, computer science. This one has MIT classes, Boston University, Berkeley. This one's more computers, but they do have a good amount of humanities classes, which is more my interest. But the business and management I thought were really excellent through there. So you can learn about marketing and finance. If you were thinking about starting a business, some of these classes are just excellent. And you can get master's degrees through there if you switch the classes to being traditional. But definitely look at it for the free ones. I'm a sucker for free classes, right? What was another one that I wanted to look at? Let's see. Oh, right over here. Like Khan Academy. Yes, Khan Academy is excellent. This one everyone knows about it, but I think it has more wider appeal. It's got things for younger learners too, because it's set up for kids to college age. But I think when you have a lot of young people at home, especially if you do homeschooling, this is really great. I like Khan Academy a lot. And if you need extra help, like if your kid has questions about a certain level of math, I'm not a math genius, so you could get a little more information there, and there's a lot more help. I like the test prep on Khan Academy, like the MCAT, SATs. So if somebody wants to learn about that, there's a lot of good free information in there. So definitely consider Khan Academy. And then what was the other one I wanted to show you? Udemy, Udemy. I have this app on my phone too, which is really great because there's, I've done a lot of paid ones, but there are free ones available on this site. I have like so many that I just kind of hold off, and every once in a while I'll go and look at it a little bit more. But what I like is that they have categories in everything, like design and personal growth and fitness and music. The teaching and academics is really good right now for younger people and for teachers who are learning on the subject. It's good personal growth stuff. If you're going to search in this, what I would recommend is you would find something in the area that you like maybe all business, and then do it by price. So there's a sale right now. You can get courses for $10.99. And I would say if you are interested in something, get it when it's on sale, because they often have sales. So even if you miss this month, you might wait a month and get some more. I've bought in classes through there when it's at the lowest, like $9.99, and hold on to it until I want to play around with it later. Let's see if I remember how to do this. You can filter it. And what I do is I switch on like English, what level I'm interested in, like beginner usually, and free. And then you can like look through, hit done, and it'll narrow it down. And it's like still 376 courses that are free. So just make sure you find the filters. They're like usually about halfway down on the screen. So it takes a little bit of know-how to figure it out. But once you do, all of these ones are free now. And there's some really great ones like cryptocurrencies and bit blockchain and all. Yeah, I mean, you can really learn a lot. And so if you're going to be stuck at home, you could watch Netflix, and I'm gonna, but you can also learn a new skill, and that makes you a better human being. And so you can maybe make a little bit better use of this time. And there is a few others they mentioned I'm not going to go into, like iTunes. I don't use Mac, but I do have iTunes on one of my devices. MIT OpenCourseWare, you can get in through there. Great. It's just like high level advanced physics and engineering. It's really great stuff. If you're interested, Stanford Online has great classes. Code Academy, if you want to learn to code, it's amazing. Great way to learn. There are lots of tools if you're interested in coding. I can share with you on how to learn how to code for free, different age levels too. Open Culture online courses. Some of these are, they say they have 1,000 free courses online from top universities. Some of them are great. Some of them are a little confusing to get into, but I like the content and it's free. TED Ed is fun and a lot more like K through 12 level of interest, but really neat way, and you can just watch videos and learn about it. You can create lessons and use it for your lesson plans if you're a teacher. So that's one of the things you can do. I know a few other things that I've heard lately are they're like New York Opera. I think it's Metropolitan Opera is having free opera. There are free concerts going on online all the time. People are reaching out, showing their skill, helping keep people's spirits up. So if you have a special skill, think about ways that maybe you can reach out. You can share, like you sing or you do art. Maybe have a virtual art showing. One of my friends was laid off for doing her karaoke job. Like, do virtual karaoke, join a group. It may not be as well paying, but people might tip. There are ways virtually that you can show appreciation, and we help each other. We'll feel better, and we come together as humans. So if you're not just thinking about just watching TV this whole time, think about how you can contribute and make people feel a little bit better in this time. It's really hard. We are all having a hard time. So I hope that you use this time to be a really good human. I saw my brother posted a picture about, I should look and see if I can find it. It's really, you don't have to hurt somebody else to save yourself. Let's see. And I think it was along that line. Look, it was a really good one. I still get the image of it in my head, and it freaks me out. Yeah. Oh, it's a dirty word one, so I'm looking forward to showing this one. Let's see if I can. It was shared from somebody else. Let me just share it real quick. Boop, boop, boop. There it is. Okay. You don't have to fuck other people over to survive. And it's a guy biting somebody else's neck and holding him. And it's so true right now. We can be kind. We can be good to each other. And things they seem bad, but we're going to get through it. I promise you, we'll all get through it. And I love you all, and I want you all to get through this together, and we can get better from this. We can use this time to kind of be really awesome. So, and I see somebody on my Facebook feed is playing guitar. I mean, this is what makes us great. If Google the Italians singing during the coronavirus, it's beautiful to hear them singing, and that's the things that we're going to remember, not the fear, not the stupid toilet paper stuff. We're going to remember that we were there for each other. And so do more of that. Help each other out, and I think we're going to be just fine. It's going to be a little hard for a while, but we can do this. So if you are interested and you want more ideas on ways to learn, or if you want to find something for your kids, I have tons of sources. There are so many publishers that are letting people use free databases, free ebooks everywhere. There's resources that are opening up all the time. Everyone wants to help. If you need more, send me a note and I would be happy to send you things. I always feel like I have so much stuff I want to share, but I don't know if people will look at it. You get inundated, but I can get you what you need, right? I feel like I'm an information dealer, you know? So anyway, I'm gone a little long, but I hope that you guys can help each other out and do well. And I will see you next week at our normal time for Liberty Librarian here at 5 p.m. Central. And definitely go to the Freedom Revolution Network page and think about donating to the coronavirus dollar bomb at the Freedom Revolution Network. Really good people, and they will help take it to help out and to also help us so we can keep getting news out to you. And the fear that we've always had is that like with Facebook regulating everything, that anything that questions government or questions the way things are done will be shut down. And so if we have enough funds to keep our own private servers and our own social media on our own site, that there will always be a home for it there. And that is the hope. So please help us make that happen. So have a wonderful week. And I will see you in another 7 days. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Play, play, play. Bye. See you next week.